Hello everyone, this is me, Acting Fan 11. Welcome to my LEGO The Ships That Sunk the World commentary. So today I'm going to try to make this 27 minutes as interesting as possible. If you haven't seen the original movie, I suggest you see that now or this would make no sense. Okay, so basically this film was a pain in the neck for over a year, which is why my channel was inactive for about a year with LEGO films, which is why I resulted to gaming videos. The scenes that you're seeing here are some of the first ones I ever filmed, and I originally wanted this all to be stop motion, but it didn't turn out that way. I mean, you see a little stop motion right there, but like I think the amount didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. These scenes you're seeing right here, these SS Ranzik scenes, are some of the last ones I filmed because I never made the SS Ranzik. It was such a time crunch to get this out towards the end of this movie that I didn't really have time to make it. Here you can see some filming I did. This was actually some filming I did when I was Skyping Dylan. He actually watched me film this. Dylan plays Captain Matthews. I mean, not Captain Matthews. Sorry. But I think I just forgot the other Dykes. He plays Captain Dykes, and here you see Grouchy, one of my regular characters. And Dylan did a fantastic job with the doing the lines. This scene is basically where they're having a meeting. I know it was very short how this unfolded on the SS Ranzik. There's not a lot of detail about the SS Ranzik, which I think makes that part of the storyline very weak. You can see here I took many pictures of just the LEGO figures holding the phones. It's the same black phone in every picture you see throughout this movie. I was originally going to play Dykes because I knew how I wanted the lines, but I told Dylan, I'm like, just be aggressive and be a jerk, and he succeeded. I played a lot of characters in this film, which took a lot of, I think I did about 150 lines, including some bloopers, which amounts to about 10, but like 150 lines for everyone. That's a lot of lines. You might not think that, but recording those over a period of time did take a while. Now, the thing is, this film was supposed to be done in 3 months. Meaning it was supposed to have come out in March or April of 2013. It came out in 2014, which is something I didn't want to happen. Mostly because of computer problems. My hard drive crashed and I was desperately trying to get this movie out. Had to re-edit it because it wouldn't work on Windows 8. Here you can see some Coast Guard lines, and they were really interesting to film. There's Pilot Johnson. That's another character Dylan played. I was a little concerned about him playing Dykes and Johnson, because I thought, maybe it was too many voices, but then I thought, wait, how many characters am I voicing? So, yeah, I don't like to use my regular voice as much as I try to restrain from that so that there is a disguise between the characters. I don't know. That's just kind of something I try to do, and then like once people watch the credits, then they see that I did a certain amount of voices. So basically, here's a funny little dialogue that came up between the two pilots. Originally Dylan was going to play the opposite pilot, the one that comes up with the lines, and I was going to play the serious one. But it would require me to have more of a regular voice, which I didn't want to do, so I played the one, I just came up with a different kind of voice for the the second pilot. Okay, you will notice the announcement pictures for the SS Ranzik and the SS Majestic are the same. That's because I did not make the SS Ranzik. I know, I regret to this day why I didn't make the SS Ranzik. It was something I actually wanted to do. I'm like, this will be so cool, because a long time ago I made a ship that was almost unsinkable. It had so many walls, and until the water came over the walls, really, it was unsinkable. But I was like, oh, I'll make that again. It'll be fun. I can use it in a movie. Once I got done with this, filming the SS Majestic scenes, I didn't want to make another ship. Okay, so here you see some dialogue, some very funny dialogue between the two captains. or pilots. You know what I'm trying to say. Um, and yeah, this is a really funny scene. I love how he used the scared face there. Um, you know, this film really did take a lot out of me. In the summertime, it could have easily gotten done then, but I didn't want to do it because the script was just so. This whole thing is fiction. The whole thing was created in my mind, and I never really wrote an entire script. I just thought I'll figure that out. That does not work good, people. Okay, if it's for a short movie, maybe. Okay, but if you, that's why when I shot all these scenes, and I actually have a lot of other deleted scenes I didn't put in the deleted scenes video. This because I didn't ever voice them. I just have the pictures. So basically, you can see here just some normal. I can't hear it right now, and you might be able to hear some of it. But this is normal dialogue between Captain Matthews and the Coast Guard. And here's the owner. This is a scene I filmed with my camera because I was too lazy to take a picture, and I wanted to actually, do a line with my camera. Now the owner is. This is actually something people have been asking me about. What happened to the owner? I think that's something I'm gonna talk about a little bit later. But let me just say, the owner. If you noticed, in the very first Lego Ship Sunk the World, Lego the Ship Sunk, City, the face of the owner is different. It's like, it has a mustache, and it looks younger. I was, in my imaginary world, I'm like, okay, there's two options. Either he was just younger there, or it was a different owner, and he sold it to this owner. He sold the company to this owner. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out, actually. So, here you have the Coast Guard again. I don't know what line he's saying because I have no audio right now, but I'm guessing this is a line from Dylan. Oh, I know that scene. And there's only 2 engines. I remember that. I personally don't care how many engines there are. Trust me, guys, when you edit this thing for like hours upon hours, you memorize every line you've ever said. This is how serious it gets. Okay, there you see, Officer Patrick working in the background. You see Officer Dotson to the right. I wanted to have more things with the officers in this film, but I never really got around to it. There's the scene with Officer Patrick that's played by my friend Rylan. There's supposed to be more. There was gonna be more with that, but it didn't really fit in. Here you see where the rescue plane crashed because there was too many people in it. And there you see a paint picture that I made. Regular was putting out the fire. And he's like, oh, thank God you're okay. Here you see a little, pan effect. Mostly because I was going to have Pilot Johnson say that line. But Dylan was either sick or on like a mini vacation when I was doing this, and I had to keep editing. So instead, I just made it pan so it looked like Rancic was talking about it. Here's the Officer Patrick scene that was done by my friend Rylan. I apologize if the volume for his lines in the original video was pretty quiet. I'm not sure. I'll automatically take the blame for that. If I had a better software, I probably could have upped the volume of his lines, but I don't know what the original fault of that was. Officer Patrick is actually, if you've seen the original video, at the very end in the postlude, he does end up passing away. There was going to be a whole lot there was going to be much more about how each person survived or passed away. There was going to be a lot about that, but I didn't really think how difficult it would be able to film that in water, because I want to make stuff realistic, and filming that kind of stuff in water is very hard. Even filming the sinking scenes is hard. Here's the beginning of some of my favorite lines. These are the lines by Lego Man Sam. Now, if you're familiar with Super Policeman 11's films, I have lent the character to his film too. He's kind of like a multi-studio news person for Lego 7 News. It's not based off of my channel news station. Mine is not 11. Mine is 11, not 7. So yeah. Here you see the lots o peeps lines. That was the file name I came up for all these people talking. It was something I figured out how to do on Audacity, a free, obviously free, voice editing software. So yeah, here you have a news alert.
Listen, boy, if you don't let me on this line.
Okay, so here's the very nice confrontation scene with Regular, who's just freaked out at this. This scene was originally going to be a lot more dramatic, but the animation kind of takes away from that. I don't have, mouth movements like some of my friends do, and as by friends, I mean Super Policeman 11. But it turned out okay. I mean, the lowering and the gun scene where they, take out the guns was supposed to be more dramatic, but who cares? So, the film's done. You gotta get past that. So, anyways, that voice crack was amazing. So here's where he is bringing the gun up, and now Regular says, "Oh no, he didn't," and Dykes brings his up. Startling similarity in their guns. So yeah, with my new Canon, I shot the Lego The Apprentice video, and it has a lot better quality. Let me just say, a whole lot better quality. Okay, so we're entering into another scene here. Pretty basic discussion scene. They're just talking about the condition of the ship, and they're trying to lay blame on each other. And that's always something fun to do, right, kids? Anyways, so the owner's there. He's mad at Ranzik, his competition, for landing on his ship, ruining his ship with the one ship that wasn't sinking, and now he's ruining it. Who wouldn't be mad about that? So, anyways, they're having this discussion. There's Pilot Johnson. He's still alive. And they're thinking they should call the Coast Guard. Thankfully, when they call the Coast Guard this time, it is a different person, Ben. "Hello, this is Ben speaking." The obnoxious Ben. And Ben, that's another. I was going to use, this, really nerdy voice to do Ben, but then I thought it would be really cool if I had a really obnoxious voice. So another character that I disguise my voice with, because that's what I like to do, because I don't want people to know it's me until they see the credits at the end. So yeah, I think that's. Is that, may I remind you, Captain Mashu, that Coast Guard again was my idea, and there's some security footage, something that was never used again in the film. Yeah, I gotta give you credit on that one. It was your idea. Sergeant Millard, do you copy? Yes, sir, I copy. What do you need? Okay, so he's like, "Do you copy?" And then Sergeant Millard is the country guy. See, I'm proving my point here. I like to disguise my voice. "Yes, sir, I copy. What do you need done?" That was just, country voice. Hold on just a second, guys. I need some water. Doing all this talking for about 12 minutes does get you pretty thirsty. My friend Dylan he actually inspired me to make this commentary, and I thought, well, if this should be easy, then I thought, what should I commentate? I'm like, what about Leather Ships That Sunk the World? And then I'm like, wait, it's 27 minutes long. It's not like 5 minutes. Anyways, this Helga I don't even remember the last name I gave her. Officer Dotson's talking to the crowd. There's Pilot Millard. Kind of sounds almost like one of the kind of sounds like President Bush. I'm not sure, senior or junior. Yeah, I don't know. Vaguely reminds me of speeches I heard when I was young. Of junior, not senior. I'm not that old. Anyways, there's Screaming Lady, played by my mother. My father didn't play anything in this. He hasn't played anything since Cafe G, mostly because I haven't asked him. Yeah. So, But don't worry, everything is fine. We all live in the same house. He could be in one of my films, but I don't want him to be. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, guys. So continuing. There's Captain Matthews trying to get us regular to leave. Leave, boy, leave. We don't want you here in these parts anymore. Some of these scenes were just so generic, and even though they were generic, it took forever for me to edit these together and figure out what I was doing. There's some stop motion, something I really needed. Anywho, I sound Canadian there. There's Matthews talking to Millard again. The M&Ms by their last names. Okay, there is Lego Man Sam. Lego Man Sam. I mean, he even admits he's a Lego Man. I mean, how great can you get when you admit that you're a Lego Man? I mean, for actual newscasters today, they could say, "Hello, this is this is me, Kevin the Man, Kevin the Human, whatever, Kevin the Human." That would just be hilarious. If I ever make a live action series, Kevin the Human is now going to be one of the characters. Oh. Well, and don't expect a live action series from me, mostly because I don't really have a lot of people to do it with, because, well, Dylan lives down in Mississippi, so we don't really get to see each other much, except for like 3 days ago when we saw each other. Actually, it was 4 days ago. I'm counting. Anyways, there's a water scene where I actually like how I incorporated that, how I was looking at the binoculars and seeing the water. Thought that was something kind of cool that I had in the video. So now you see they're having a little discussion, and he's like, "I can't believe this is happening, Officer Dodson," but it is. Well, you best make that announcement. The more people that know about this, the more people we can get off something like that. Yes, Captain. Wow, I guessed that line perfectly. There's the announcement. Here's the thing. Officer Dodson was kind of tricky to play, because I constantly had to have a high voice. It's like, "Yes, Captain." Sometimes you can hear in the lines that my voice turns into this. "Yes, Captain." Okay, here's the "Hello, honey. What I have to do is we have to get in a thing called a lifeboat." And there's his wife, and I'm not going to mention what Dylan thought they were, but let's see. There's the business partners. Okay, Rob. Here's the thing. I'm older than you, and plus I've been a better lawyer than you, so I think it'd only be fair that I get to sit in front of you in the life. But I mean, is that fair? I suppose so. Rob, I think this is the first time we've ever agreed on something. Wow, I just nailed those lines. Okay, I'm not sure what the point of this commentary is now, just for me to, do impersonations of my own characters, of my own voice. I don't know. Here is actually very one of the first emotional scenes I've ever incorporated in my movies. Dylan was actually very surprised when he saw this. He's just kind of like, there's a little bit of separation and suffering, and I didn't want to make this like a Twilight or a Hunger Games movie, but I thought I'd give it like a little taste of it. Kind of like the whole romance thing between them was just brewing in the background. Like some people, you probably didn't even suspect that from him, but then it just comes out here, and Ranzik's apologizing to Matthews, and he's just sorry for everything, kind of like almost Ranzik is kind of almost like Bruce Ismay on the Titanic, except the fact that there weren't two ships involved except for the rescue ship, the Carpathia. There's a little history lesson, boys and girls. And animals. Okay, so now they're just magically transported into their crew lifeboat while the other people are in the other lifeboat. And if you think about this, if they would have gone in the other lifeboat, the chances of them making it out safely are, dimmed down more. Here we have another news alert by Lego Man Sam. Now, sorry, I just hit the microphone there. Lego Man Sam just keeps making reports about this throughout the day, which basically seems like CNN, because they're like, okay, breaking news, we have just discovered that there is a disaster unfolding. Okay, 25 minutes later, they're reporting the same thing like it just happened. Okay, that's the way CNN, Fox, HLN, MSNBC, that's how they all work. I watch news every day, people. I mean, I was watching when the unfortunate accident of Sandy Hook took place, and they talk about the same things, and they bring out the analysts, and that's all they talk about. It's like, okay, we just got news. We know where the school's located now. Great. You could Google that before. Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting about that now, because that should be for a different video, even though I probably won't make it. Dykes is shooting. Captain, look, Dykes is shooting, and then you have, the sound effects and everything is going on behind there. It took a while to have the gun shooting in the background. I was going to have the gun shooting stop, but it wouldn't be consistent. So, for the first time in my filmmaking career, something is consistent. Dykes is pointing at something again. The bank vault is crumbling because of all the pressure that is being put on the building. Because it's one of the highest things on the ship. It falls on Dykes. Dykes has just escaped from the vault, and yet he's he's crushed by it now. Since there are no brakes, since Dykes shot the brakes, there was nothing to keep them from going into the pillar. Pillar pops. Somewhat realistic. I don't. So Jenny's trying to get him out. Boom! The bridge collapses. You can see the people on the very end. That was Hyper and Patch that are on the second top row thing. They're the ones that survive. Matthew, that was actually a very sentimental line when I was doing Matthews there. And I just kind of faded to black for a second for people to think about the entire thing. When the bridge collapsed, that was actually the second time I shot that scene. The first time, my hand was in the way, and the bridge didn't collapse on the lifeboat. It went forward instead of backwards. So I had to reshoot it again. Hopefully it looked natural, like the thing hadn't collapsed. So I had to rebuild the bridge in the set. There's the ship right before it was taken out of my bathtub. And then there's that Marvel plane. There's Sergeant Miller's plane that's picking them up. And that was, I remember I turned off the lights to make it almost look like it was dark by the time they got there again, or the sun was going down. Originally I was going to have times on here when everything was taking place, but you kidding me? Through all this editing, I wasn't going to do that. Okay, Officer Reynolds was one that passed away. Officer Edsel is another one that passed away. It says he passed away in 2013, but in reality this film came out in 2014, but I guess the disaster happened in 2013. I don't care. Okay, Patrick Roberts. Coming up with the names of these people actually was somewhat hard. I was just picking random names, but I didn't want it to sound too silly. Bob Thomas. He's actually going to be in a different one of my videos. Passenger Rugan Hamabi and Stachstati Hamabi. She was born and you don't want to know. Officer Jenny Dotson. That's a tough one. I mean, she was 39 years old. That's just tough. Helga von Bobertson that. Well, I guess she's going to write a strongly written letter to the cruise company now, if she was alive. Harold Mark, he was the going to be more involved in this video. If you watch the deleted scenes, he had a bigger role. The owner, hence his name, he is missing and presumed dead. That is a screenshot from Leg of the Meeting 2. You can probably find that video on my channel if you want to see that. The survivors. Sally Jensen, she was going to have a bigger role too. Country guy, he has a few lines in there. Butch, and the Screaming Lady. Ah! That's my impersonation of my mom. Second Officer Regular. The policemen always survive. I mean, good grief, they're immortal. Second Officer Grouchy of the SS Ranzik. Grouchy, my main characters didn't really have that much of a big role in here. Mac, I don't believe said anything throughout this entire dilemma, except maybe I'm the mayor when he was going up the stairs. Chief of Police Phil Roberts. Diane Mark. She was married to Harold Mark. There was going to be more stuff about them if you watch the lead scenes. Rob Knox, which he actually has a bigger role in this, in the postlude, than in the actual video. I survived. Donald Ranzik. with the computer right beside there, survived. Hyper, of course, he survived. Pilot Fred Johnson, Dylan, of course, had to survive. I actually like I had his uniform right there. That's just funny. Captain James Matthew with his, uniform right there. Captain Dwayne Dykes with a nice yellow cup that blends in with his hand. There's Rob Knox. You might recall he was a lawyer. The backstory about that is that I was going to have it that he was trying to revenge his partner's death. And because your business partner dies, I mean that's pretty huge. This was just like one of the final things. I thought this film has to have a postlude because I don't want people to think I'm making another one of these. There has to be a final ending, and there doesn't need to be questions about it. Basically, now I know the audio probably was a little quiet in the postlude. There were some problems with my microphone, and I didn't realize it until the film was uploaded, and it seemed completely fine when I was editing it. Again, you're just gonna for that. I turn up your volume. It won't hurt your computer because the volume was so low in the original file. Anyways, there's Dwayne Dykes. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole, and that was the voice of him was me, basically with help from Audacity of lowering my voice. So just to be clear, Dwayne Dykes is in prison. So yeah, there's Donald Rancic. He's having a press conference. I just kind of got inspired by these of all the ones that the presidents do. I mean, they speak like the press secretaries speak every day in this video. Therefore, I'm not going to say anything in this commentary, but there is nothing. Live Cruise Incorporated isn't completely written out of all my films. There could still be some references to it. Here you see some the cast. Super Policeman 11 as Pilot Johnson and Captain Dykes. He did a lot. Thank you, Dylan. My mother is Screaming Lady. Ryland Brown is Officer Patrick. We recorded those lines like a year ago. And Acting Fan 11 Productions 2014. LEGO videos will return in 2014. Like Patch's commercial was the first thing for that. Thank you guys for watching this long-winded discussion. And I hope you'll tune in next time for another commentary of one of my videos. See you guys. Hope you had a good time. This has been an Acting Fan 11 production.